Zingo TV apps in the respective app store on iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. Both apps are free.
ZingoTV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire and Fire TV sticks, Roku and Roku sticks, also on all smart TVs 2016 forward. So I'm Warren J., one of your hosts. This is Tamara Siobhan, and welcome to Controlled Chaos, the show where anything can happen within reason. So big things, big eventful world that we're living in. Tamara, what's your week been like?
I mean, I don't know. This week's been really weird. I've been really feeling the effects of the lockdown. So I've been on Instagram video chats. I spent 3 hours on an Instagram video chat yesterday, which, like, kudos to Instagram. Like, they are the new Skype. Like, they don't even know what they have. Like, no drop, nothing. But I just, like, started slamming drinks, having, like, a conversation with literally, actually really funny, with my ex and his wife, his new wife.
Wow.
They're not new wives, but, like, anyway, we were dating, then we weren't dating, and then anyway, I wasn't invited to the wedding, obviously.
Yeah. I guess I can understand that.
But that was, like, back in the day. Like, I was so young, but now, like, we're all cool and, like, we hang out, like, I guess on Instagram. But yeah, we just started like sending each other random pictures of, like, crackers. We're just hanging out all night. I was, like, playing them, like, some, like, edits of, like, some stuff I'm putting out soon. And then I was like, it's 3 hours. Like, Ivan had come home from work. I was like, he's like, what are you doing? I had, like, cans everywhere. I was and I just looked into my phone because you know when you write things into your phone, something you remember, like a situation, you're like, I want to remember this, what's actually happened. And it's always so ridiculous. So this is what I woke up to, okay? And this is how I know that I was 10 out of 10 last night.
Okay.
And I quote, I've been sniffing the glasses. Why do you have so many cups of starts to sniff? And he's like, what? I like that beer in the wind. And I'm like, I'll get you back. Don't worry. He starts walking away in anger up the stairs. And I'm like, wait, come back. You have to get me soy sauce so I can eat these dumplings. I pulled out of the freezer and then he warmed up in the microwave. Need to drown out the taste.
You wrote this, like, in the form of a narrative? Like, that's word for word what you wrote?
3:33
a.m. That's amazing. That's like, you're, like, writing a little mini novel. I love that.
Well, what had happened is that I started drinking his beer. He has this, like, I hate the beers that he has. He has, like, these chocolate 10% beers, but I was just like, 10%, like, I'm going to drink them. And he came home, and I didn't think he was going to notice, but he started sniffing the cups like a psycho.
He's on the case.
He literally sniffed. He's like, is that my chocolate beer? I'm like, how do you know that? Like, didn't even get a chance to be like, I'll buy it back. Like, nothing. And he starts storming away. And I'm like, wait, please wait. And he, like, turns around. I'm like, can you get me soy sauce? He's like, are you joking? So yeah, girlfriend of the year yet again.
There you go, winner.
What's going on with you?
Beautiful. What's going on with me, man? I live my life in, like, fast forward. I swear to God, I live 10,000 lives in the time it takes people's dinner to get cold. So, like, I'm in love again. I'm seeing a new person, and so that's awesome. That was not the plan. I was not expecting this. You know what I mean? Like, we met before what would have been the 1-year anniversary of my previous ex, the maniacal succubus that tried to ruin my life. That was, like, November 3rd would have been our anniversary, and me and this girl started hanging out just before that. And, like, in that time, I had gotten with this person, asked her out, and gotten engaged, and then ended the engagement. And then, like, a couple months later, after a little bit of healing and soul searching, meet this new girl who's incredible. We started tripping together, going on all these fun dates, and now we're, like, a couple.
It's like the premise of a reality TV show. You know that, right?
Yeah. I mean, my life kind of is one in a way, with, like, no cameras really, but, like, I don't know, man. I live a strange life, and it's only partly by design. It's just, like, weird stuff happens to me. And yeah, so this is, like, the latest thing now. And she told me something that blew my mind. So we're talking about, like, our exes, right? And I regaled her with the wonderful tales of some of the people that I've been with. And then she tells me about this, like, completely blew my head wide open. So she has an ex who is a white man, okay, named Morgan Freeman. Yes. Dude, she dated a white guy named Morgan Freeman. Somewhere in the city of Toronto, there is a white Morgan Freeman. As if people's 2020 couldn't get like even more insane.
No.
Yeah, it's a real person. I verified it. So yeah, hilarious. Like on so many levels. Like she's just like handed me comedy plutonium, and I'm like, I'm gonna build a bomb with this, right? Like I have to do it. I don't have anything really personal against this guy, but I was just like, man, I'm gonna make you a meme. Like the internet you've been hiding from the world. He's not even on social media. Like apparently, like I looked to try and creep this guy's page. He's like a ghost. He doesn't have any like. Because obviously he doesn't want the internet to find his name and his face and put two and two together and get famous for all the wrong reasons, right?
So, I mean, I would totally take advantage of that, but also I just picture him standing at Yonge and Dundas Square just reciting as Morgan Freeman, but just the white version.
Yeah, just narrating people's lives that are walking by.
1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4.
They walked out of H&M looking like they had gotten a really good deal. That type of thing. I know. I would take advantage of it. Apparently, he tried to have a film career, wasn't that successful with it. He had like 1 or 2 parts.
There was already a Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, he's even eradicated himself off of IMDb because he was on IMDb. And this is the beautiful thing is like with actors unions, you can't have the same name as someone else. Right. So like Jim Jeffries, the comedian, had to respell his name Jeffreries from Jeffries because there was a Jim Jeffries on like Miami Vice or some show like that back in the day. Right. And so like this is the funny thing is like this dude was born in 86. So at that time, Morgan Freeman, he was still Morgan Freeman, but he wasn't like the Morgan Freeman that we all know and love. His career in film got started really late. Right. He was like in his 50s, I think, when he got like one of his first big roles. So like this poor family, the Freemans had this white ass Freeman family had a kid and they decided they were going to name him Morgan. And little did they know that it was already written in the stars, Tamara, that an older black gentleman would climb his way up the ladder in Hollywood and ruin this kid's life. So yeah, like now he's obviously he gets it all the time, right? Like once Morgan Freeman is Morgan Freeman, big famous actor, like everyone probably just thought it was hilarious, and it's probably why he's just like complete ghost. You can't find him online or anything because like I don't even know what that must do to a man's self-esteem, but yeah, he's a white Morgan Freeman. He's got, and not just white, like super white. He's blonde with blue eyes, like Aryan white, and he's got freckles.
Aryan white.
He's got freckles, which is probably aside from the name, the only thing he has in common with the real Morgan Freeman, right? Like it's so good. That's hilarious.
Do you know though the funniest thing about Morgan Freeman? Do you know his kid's name is Morgana Freeman?
What? Really? No, I didn't. That's like Will Smith's daughter, Willow Smith, a little bit, right? Like that's
like George Foreman. It's like George Foreman's daughter, George Foreman.
George Foreman has a daughter. Are you just yanking my leg here?
No.
He named his daughter George Foreman?
Yeah.
Like George Foreman Jr. and it's a girl?
Yeah.
That's ego. That's ego for you when you're like, nope, goddamn it, I'm naming my kid after me. I don't care what their sex is. They're just like, you're George Foreman, sweetheart. Like, now go to school and
George
don't
Foreman,
get bullied.
I think they're all actually George Foremans. Like all
He's
of
had multiple, like a whole litter of George Foremans.
I literally feel like I'm actually gonna look it up. I think that he actually has only George Foremans in his family.
Good God, like. You're the champ, you sell some grills, I get it, you got big dick money and you want to show it off to the world. And yeah, that's just a little excessive. That is like such an ego move. It's crazy. George Foreman, what a guy.
But like Morgan Freeman and Morgana Freeman were both on the red carpet. And I actually spat my drink out watching, it was like the Emmys, like, I don't even know. Or like the Oscar, who knows? One of those carpet things. And I thought I was like, am I just really drunk or is her name actually Morgan with an A? And
amazing. He just feminized his own name and then named his daughter. Well,
you know what's great? Her Morgana.
Dude, so this Morgan Freeman has met the real Morgan Freeman too. They've actually their paths have intersected. So Black Morgan Freeman is aware of the white Morgan Freeman. Like,
Is aware.
Yeah. Can you imagine how that must have blown his mind? He probably thought this kid was taking the piss. Like, he meets him like, "Hey, sir, my name is Morgan Freeman as well." He's probably like, yeah, sure you are. Like, trying to be all nice and whatever. But yeah, apparently, I don't know the exact context of that story, but the Morgan Freemans have met in some scene out of Highlander. They've encountered each other in real life.
No.
Yeah. Bananas, dude. It's insane. Yeah, I got some so I got my girl to dig up some info. I'm like, all right, tell me about Morgan Freeman, because like the internet's gonna eat this up like angel food cake. Right. And, like, she told me this story about on Valentine's Day. So they dated for about 3 years, right? And when they were 17, started dating.
She dated a Morgan Freeman.
3 years she dated Morgan Freeman. That's commitment. Like, she's a keeper, this one, Tamara. So yeah, they had a Valentine's Day thing. They get off, and he like, it's a surprise. I'm not going to tell you where we're going. They get on the TTC. They go to Pape Station. They get off, and then he pulls out like a misting bottle, like a hair salon, like you'd spray someone's hair with, like a mister type of thing. And he starts like misting the air around her, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then he's like, "Don't you remember when we had our first kiss? It was at this exact location, and it was raining." Like, trying to be like, yeah, I know, yeah. Like, slow down, Romeo. I thought romance was dead. Yes.
Stop. This guy just brings some like breath spray. Don't you see?
Yeah. Spray a misting bottle at your girl, like, "Hey, you go, man. You're like this." Like, remember when we kissed? Good God. What fragrance is that you're wearing, sir? Desperation by Calvin Klein? Jesus Christ. So yeah, so that, and then she showed me a picture of this wonderful card. So when they did that, I think it was the same day, he gave her this card. It's got like a low-res black and white picture of himself that he printed off of the internet, and it's like surrounded by like glued little hearts around it, and it was black and white, because obviously he's not the real Morgan Freeman. He can't afford color ink for his printer. So he printed off a black and white photo. He colored his eyes in blue, and then like wrote this little note. There's like this douche cringy poem that I can't even read, because I'll probably die of happiness. But this note is pretty good. Just says, "Sylvia, I hope that when you see this card, you'll think of all the good times we have had. I know that when I think of you, I smile and remember how sweet you are to me, how you've stuck with me through thick and thin, how you smell." Okay. "And that you are hot as in all caps." So he was emphasizing that. Yeah. Like, girl, you are hot. Yeah. And then the other side just says, "My cutie cat, my strawberry, my everything, with all of these good things racing through my head, it is hard to pick which ones to write. So I'll sum it up with 3 letters. I heart you."
This sounds like a Harry Styles song. I actually can't cope.
Yeah, well, like, so no one's told Morgan Freeman, obviously, that heart isn't a letter. Like, so, like, just that isn't, the premise doesn't even work. And then this is the best part. This is the cherry on the sundae right here. At the bottom, there's 2 little circles in pen, and I guess this poor confused individual put on some chapstick, and he kissed the paper in 1-2 spots, and then circled it, and it says, with an arrow pointing to it, "For emergency, here are 2 kisses."
I'm horrified. This is not okay. Like, this is not okay. What are you talking about?
I know. I'm just like, I hit a tipping point where I was laughing so much at this that I'm like, you know what? This is actually really sad. Like, I hate that I'm gonna have to ruin this man for a laugh, but this is the thing. So he had screwed around on her with one of her friends. He told her that he had met some girl at Eaton Center, and that whatever, like, it made it known that there was some other person. And then it turned out that it was one of her friends who, like, yeah, I know, who apparently did this with not 1, but 2 of her boyfriends. Some girl named, I think Natty was her name, or Natty or something like that. So, like, yeah, Natty, if you're watching this, find a nice cozy dumpster to crawl into, because
I was just about to say, like, I actually know people like that have done that to me. And it's just like, do you not see that this is not going to be long term for you? Like, I don't know, trash people.
Horrible people. Yeah. So anyway, I guess Morgan Freeman fingered her at a party, and that was that. And so little did he know that 17 years later, literally half his lifetime later, his scorned ex would end up dating a comic. and the rock that he's hiding under would get flipped over and revealed to the world. So yeah, that's the news this week for Morgan Freeman stuff. What do you think about that?
Okay, first of all, I want to actually like see a picture of this person, so I can't wait. But second of all, like, how old is he now?
He's 2 years older than me, so he's probably got to be like 34 or something like that. He was born in '86.
Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, he's probably still trash, unless he's
Yeah.
lost. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, first of all, obviously your girl is way better off. Hilarious. Like, that's just instant karma. Like, the lack of his career is because of how garbage he was as a person. So don't feel
Yeah.
bad for him.
Well, he had to, his IMDb, he had to be Morgan Freeman 2 because there's already a Morgan Freeman on the thing. Yeah, yeah, Morgan Freeman 2. Isn't that the best?
I'm
I think
Morgan
they should have
Freeman
a fight
too.
over who keeps the name. I do. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you don't even get to have your name anymore. That's so funny. Yeah, no, honestly, it's what he deserves. But also, just kind of like, where do I've never seen white Morgan Freeman. That's so funny to me.
Yeah, we're in Bizarro world. There's a glitch in the Matrix, dude. Like, it's pretty crazy.
I mean, I've had some weird things too. Like, honestly, did I ever tell you about the guy that I met and hooked up with in New Orleans? His name was Toast.
Toast? No. No, I did not hear about this individual.
His name was Toast, and he like, it was just, I don't even know. He had stolen a house that he was like squatting at in New Orleans, and like tried to convince me that it was his house.
Oh my god.
But there was no furniture, and he was like, no, there's no furniture. Like, that's the way that I like it. And then people just started singing the Toast song to me for like years. You know,
there's a Toast song?
Yeah, it's like all around the city, coast to coast. People always ask, what do I like most? Yeah, Toast. No.
The Toast anthem. I love that.
Yeah, and then obviously Toast was not boyfriend material. He started hitting on every one of my friends in my circle after we got back to Toronto. So there's something about people that have like the same name as somebody, or someone that has like really like crazy stupid names like Toast. Like, you can't trust them. I would never trust a John Mayer I met in Toronto. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. You would think that if somebody had a really weird, remarkable name like that, like you would try to overcompensate by having like a game-winning personality, right? To make it worth being like associated with you or dating you or something like that, right? You have to think about it. If you marry that guy, it's like you're Mrs. Morgan Freeman. You know, like then you have to explain to people when you say my husband's Morgan Freeman, and they're like, what? And then you're like, no, he's just some white guy from Toronto.
Yeah. My husband's Morgan Freeman, but like the kind of Morgan Freeman that still shops at No Frills. Don't get excited.
Yeah, exactly. His film career ain't doing as good. Oh well, maybe he'll manage to parlay this into some viral fame. Salute, Morgan Freeman. You're a winner. Revenge is a dish best served way after its expiry date. Anyway, I guess that wraps that up. Let's do some topics from a hat, everybody.
Topics from a hat.
Ooh. I got the hat. And here come the topics. Vacation you've ruined.
Oh.
This could be a good one. You got anything for this?
Yeah, no, it's so bad. Yeah. I've ruined almost every vacation I've been on, to be honest. But so I was dating someone, and we broke up very aggressively. We were like, whatever. I moved to China. I think I already told you about this whole like engagement thing. Anyway, so I moved to China. I was having a great time. And then I got an email. So I blocked this person off of everything. And I got like an email, and I got this email from this dude, and he was like, hey, the one that I was seeing before. He's like, hey, I'm in the area of China. And he was in
the area, in the neighborhood.
He literally flew to South Korea because you can't come to China without a visa. And you can't go to China without a visa. And he flew there, wrote me an email, and was like, yeah, you mind if I drop by? And I was like, kind of. But the way that he had planned it was so, like, he wasn't just dropping in or in the area. Like, he planned it for when he knew I'd be off for like the holidays, because in China you have so many holidays. You have like Chinese New Year, you get like 2 months off. Like for like the National Day, like Chinese National Week, you get like the whole week off. Like for Tomb Sweeping Day, you get like 6 days off. Like it's just stupid. Like there's just so many things that you can get off. So he came for literally when I was doing this like teaching stint. He shows up in China and he's like, yeah, like, you know, I wanted to like talk about everything and see if we could like work things out. Like I don't really like how things ended. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm trying to move on with my life because like honestly, like whatever. And I was like, all right, well, let's try to see what goes on here. He's like, let's plan a trip. So like, yeah, cool, let's plan a trip. Let's go to where did we go? I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's where the Terracotta Warriors are. Oh man, I can't believe it's slipping my mind. Anyway, we went to the place where the Terracotta Warriors are in China. I like to fly there. So we get ready to go, and it's the National Week holiday. Like, so everyone's trying to leave to go, like to get out of Beijing and go to whatever like places they go to for home and stuff. So it's so packed on the subway. Everything's taking so long. In typical me fashion, I'm running late. But I'm running late because of how slow the subways are running because so many people are on there. So I'm like, let's get out of here and take a cab. So we get to the airport. We have like seconds to spare. We're running through the airport. We miss our flight. He falls to the ground, having this like breakdown. It's like one of the main reasons that we were fighting in the first place while we were together. Because it's like, you don't respect my time, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, dude, I'm 23. Like,
I don't even respect my own time.
Yeah, like I'm not like you think I have like a Google Calendar going? Like I don't know. I get there when I get there. Like so he's like falls to his knees. He's furious. Won't speak to me. We have to spend the night in this like really garbage like small little town beside Beijing in this like rundown hotel that he has to pay for because I'm just like oh whatever we could sleep at my place. But our flight the next day was at like 7 a.m. So before we get there, I've broken this man. He's like sitting on the hotel bed crying, being like, "You never cared about me. You never cared. Like this. Look what you're doing." He's weeping. Oh I have this thing where when people are crying, I start laughing, not because I think it's funny, because I don't.
Why? Then why?
I don't know how to react. I don't know how to react because he was crying and like I can only cry when I make myself cry. Like I don't cry because other people are crying. And so I start smiling and I'm like laughing. He's like, you think this is funny? This is crazy. And I'm like, I know it's crazy. I can't control it. And so I'm laughing in his face. He goes to bed like super furious. We get on this flight the next day. We make it. Oh man, I can't believe I can't remember what this place is called. We make it there. We end up having the worst vacation because I'm just like having the best time, not acknowledging anything that he's going through. So he's just like, you know, like I've come all this way for you. And I was like, you did that on your own. You're in the area. Like I'm just like being the worst. We go to the Terracotta Warriors. I'm having a great time. And then I start blacking out at this like bar that we go to afterwards, eating these noodles, blacking out. I just start being like fully like, why don't you want to be with me? Blah, 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 blah. He's like, I do. And I'm like, oh, wow. And woke up the next day and forgot.
You forgot that you're the whole conversation?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So he's like, so are we going to give this a shot? And I was like, we're leaving. It doesn't really matter. Like, give what a shot? Like, let's go. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you like were crying, telling me how much you wanted to make this work. And I was like, oh, yeah, I was just drunk. And
cold-hearted Tamara.
Still had like a day and a half left, and it was silence for the whole trip, like genuine silence. And we got to the airport, and I was just like, he's like, I guess I'll never see you again. And I was like, all right, cool. and so I start walking to my gate. I don't know where he is, and he runs back, and it's like, oh, hey, like, you know, I am gonna miss you. We have this whole like hug and send off. And honestly, he was like, this is the worst vacation I've ever been on. And I was like, that's fair. First of all, we were late getting there. I ruined the whole time. I told you I was in love with you. I forgot. Like, I know, my bad. And then I didn't run into him for another 5 years. And I bumped into him on a birthday pub crawl in Toronto as he was flying in. He had flown in for a Leafs game. These are the kind of people I used to date.
Yeah. You just happen to be in the neighborhood again. I get it. Jet setting to be in the neighborhood.
Well, I like bumped into him and then ruined my birthday because he was there. Then I went to this whole thing like trying to apologize. We got in a huge fight at a strip club, and then we went back to his hotel room, which is like he wouldn't let me upstairs. He's like, I don't want you to ruin my life. And yeah, now we just message each other like every December just to like make sure we're not like dead. But he hates me for sure. And so
it's adorable.
it's love.
Well, you guys kept in touch though. That's something. That's like I like to be. I'm pretty amicable with all of my. That's why I'm so pissed off at my most recent ex. It's like, you broke my streak. I'm an amazing ex-boyfriend. Like, why do we have to be all this, so contentious with each other? But yeah, I mean, I respect that. I'm very much the same way. I don't like to have burned bridges in my wake. It sucks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but like, what about you? Like, what vacation have you ruined? I've ruined so many. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ruined. By the way, I just want to say, Terracotta Warriors, doesn't that sound like a sports team? Like it's got a very it's got a good ring to it. The Terracotta Warriors.
I used to live on Terracotta Court, and so like I feel like I need to find out where the Terracotta Warriors are, because it's pissing me off that I can't remember where it is. It is H.E.R.
Okay, nice.
So that's
I used to live on. I was gonna say Terracotta Drive, but it's Terra Nova Drive. Never mind. I'm an asshole. I just want to be a part of something. Okay, so yes, I do have one. This one, I don't know if it's like, I didn't like ruin a vacation for anyone else per se, but I kind of like towards the end, I just like I destroyed myself on this vacation. So I went to Dominican Republic for a week with like all my family and stuff. My cousin was getting married down there, so there was like a lot of like younger people and stuff like that. And it wasn't during spring break, but this was a time where there was like for whatever reason, tons of young people, all these different tour groups down there. So like the hotel was just like popping. Like usually the hotel discotheque at any hotel that you stay at on some tropical resort, it's kind of like, a little bit almost empty. It's pretty like crappy. It's not that great of a time compared to like a big club in like the middle of Playa del Carmen or something, right? But this place, because there was so many people there, it was like comparable to like a decent Canadian nightclub, right? Like it was like there was a pretty good crowd every single night. And so like 6 out of the 7 nights that I was there, I just got obliterated, just drunker than I like, just we had the wristbands, right? It's all you can drink. So like we just got completely destroyed, smashed every single night. And the wedding, of course, obviously, you got really, really wasted for that. And towards the end of the trip, oh my God, there was like one night where I couldn't, I was starting to get like a little bit sick and I had to take some Tylenol, but they only had daytime Tylenol. So I took it at nighttime and I was like up all night. I couldn't sleep. And I was just like, oh man, like I can't go to this, it was like a tour thing that everybody was going on the next day, like, riding, I don't know, forget, it was like ATVs and like they take you on a tour of like some like rum making, place, a factory. And like, so I didn't get to go and do that, which kind of sucked. Everybody else went. And then when everyone else came back, they're all like, they've all got a buzz on because they're at this rum tour and everyone's drinking these, what the hell do they call it? Mamajuanas. They're drinking those all day. And so everybody's just like toasted completely, more toasted than your friend Toast. And they're just like, so everybody's just 3 sheets to the wind. They come back. I'm like, still haven't slept and just feeling the pain, right? This is all like, on the last like 5 days or something of drinking. And, like every single night heavily, like, I don't know, I don't have that kind of stamina, but I pulled it off this week. And so we proceed to get absolutely piss wasted in this pool. And I'm wearing a hat. I didn't put on any sunscreen and I'm so drunk that I'm like catching up to everybody else who's been drinking all day. Right. So I just get like almost blackout. I'm in the pool and I get sunburned on the top of like the tops of my ears and the tip of my nose. got sunburned really bad. And my shoulders, I was wearing like a muscle shirt in the pool for whatever the hell reason. It's just like, and anyway, so my shoulders were just like burned to a crisp, tops of my ears, tip of my nose. I had a hat, so most of my face was okay, but I like scorched these key areas to the point that they got so burnt they started peeling. And so like I'm deteriorating, I'm falling apart, right? Like just like a scarecrow in a hurricane. I'm just getting like falling apart piece by piece on this vacation. So I think it was the last night. Yeah, the very last night of drinking, and then the flight was the next day. So we're like, okay, we're gonna go hard for this. After the hotel disco closes, there's this other like sports bar thing that's open even later, and they got food and drinks and stuff like that. So we're hanging out at the sports bar, and there's this girl there, and I'm kind of chatting with this girl from, I think she was from Colorado, and she was there with her like siblings or cousins or something like that. And you know, we're like, oh, you know, like, you want to go outside and chat for a bit? She's like, sure. And you know, I'm like, you know, I kind of like lean in for a kiss or whatever. And she, like, it turned out she had a boyfriend, so he wasn't there. And I was just like, oh, you know, I'm like, hey, vacation, you know, like I'm not gonna say, you know, I'm just being a scumbag. Or I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything if you don't. But she was, you know, wouldn't do it, right? She's like, sorry, like, you know, you're really attractive. I want to go to bed with you, but I can't. And I'm like, okay, fine. Well, that's, you know, I respect that, right? Hope you have a good night. And so I walk away with my tail between my legs to go back to my room. Now, I'm pretty glad that this girl didn't agree to come back with me, because on the way back to my room, I don't know if it was the air pressure, the sea air or something like that. Yeah. But I'm wearing a white, I'm dressed like I'm in a freaking like Calvin Klein ad. I'm wearing a white button-up shirt with a white tank top underneath with like a gold chain and like, and you know, these like True Religion jeans, and I'm walking back to my room.
Who were you back then? What is that
douchebag? I was a douchebag, Tamara, a real life one. Just anyway, you know, you grow, you evolve when you get older, right? You become a better person, you level up. But this was me then, total douche. And so I'm walking back to the room. All of a sudden, I don't know, again, the air pressure or what, my nose just starts gushing blood, like streaming. Like I've never had a nosebleed like this ever. It was like someone turned the faucet on, and it's just like, whoof, and like I'm wearing all white. So I'm like, oh, I'm like leaning forward, like trying to drip the blood.
Oh, my True Religions.
Yeah, no, yeah, get on my Truies, dog. I'm like, you know, like, I'm just like, this blood is going everywhere, all over the ground, and like, you know, I'm like, it's getting so bad. I'm like trying to look straight where I'm walking. I'm like, the blood's just dripping into my mouth, and I'm just like collecting this blood and having to like spit it out. Like it was the most disgusting thing ever, right? I'm like, good, thank God I didn't have like my arm around a chick right now. Good God, like what a horror show, right? This is just karma for me trying to sleep with some, you know, girl who's in a committed relationship. Yeah, like. I got it right away.
She would have been a great napkin. It's just like, whatever, at that point. It's like, well, can I just use you then instead?
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on. Like, I'll bleed on you. We'll just hop in the shower. It'll be fun. We'll make a little, and then make a night of it.
Are you bleeding? Because I'm bleeding.
Yeah. I'm wet right here. Right on the nose. So yeah, walking back to the room and like just blood everywhere. I left this massive trail of blood, and then I hop in the shower and I'm rinsing off and stuff, and my nosebleed lasted for like 30-40 minutes, and then finally it stopped. Yeah, finally it stopped, and I went to bed. Luckily didn't die of like, you know, like lack of blood, because there was a lot of blood lost. Anyway, I wake up the next morning. The phone rings in my room. I'm like, hello. I answer it, and then there's some dudes just yakking at me in Spanish. I don't speak really much Spanish. I didn't know what he was saying. I'm like, no gracias, no gracias. Like, but it just good. Sorry, but adios, bye. Like, I just hang up. And then
I love how that's the extent of everything. You threw it in there, though. You really tried it with every word, you know, like, no, gracias, no, por favor.
No gracias, no cervezas, por favor.
Yeah, uno, dos, tres. Like,
yeah, pretty much. And so then there's a knock at the door, and it's the security. And I look, because I forgot what the hell happened. I look outside, and I'm like, there's like, senor, like everything is okay. And then I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, everything's cool. What do you mean? And he's like, we followed, there's the blood going in any points. And I look, and there's just like a trail of blood all the way from the bar, all the way to my room. And I'm like, oh my God, it looked like a crime scene, right? They're like, everything's good. You didn't get like stabbed or something. I'm like, no, I'm okay, man. Like, I guess I had a nosebleed, you know, El nosebleedo. Like, yeah, that's what happened. And so this was the kicker of the whole story, is like we had to get on an airplane that day and fly back. Now the plane going there was full. The plane flying back was like half empty. And in the air, because you know sometimes when
You in
in
the
the cockpit,
air?
all the pressure and stuff like that in the cabin. My nose started bleeding again, and I've got like all this crispy, like scabbed ears, nose, like I look like I got some kind of, like I'm a leper on this plane, like just like falling apart. My nose is gushing blood. All the flight attendants are bringing me napkins and stuff. I'm like blowing my nose. I'm not kidding you. On an airplane, there was a radius, because it was like only so full. There was where I was sitting, I was like laying down across a row, and there was like a radius of 10 feet around me where there were no other people. I just had like a quarantine section of the plane where I was just slowly dying on my way back to Canada because I just destroyed my body that week.
The original quarantine. So you ruined your own vacation, basically.
Yeah, exactly. That was it. I like ruined my own vacation. I didn't ruin it for anybody else. They all got to laugh at my misfortune, but like I definitely did myself in on that one. So I would say that qualifies for a ruined vacation. Still a great vacation though. Still one of the best ones I've had. But yeah, that was it really put a sour note to the end of it. But
wow.
You know, you live, you learn. Sometimes you just gotta go hard to know where the fence is, and now you know. Then you got to back away from that area, right? That's what I did. So that was my vacation story. And look at that. It is time for Whose Headline Is It Anyway?
Everyone's favorite topic section. Yeah.
You got some?
I have some great ones this week.
Okay, let's hear.
Okay, so literally, I don't know what's happening in the world realistically because these are too much. I wanted to start with a classic one, but I decided I'm going to start with the newest one. So this, okay, I'm going to read this to you. And I want to see your genuine reaction because I laughed out loud. For real. Okay. All right, so here we go. My mother-in-law says my baby's name is offensive and wants nothing to do with us.
Okay.
And we proceed. Okay, so it says, a new mom has been accused of purposefully picking a hurtful baby name, hurtful's in quotes, by her mother-in-law, who will now not even look at photographs of her new grandchild.
Oh my God. What is the name?
So here's the craziest part about this. The problem with it is that she wanted the baby to be named her name.
The mother-in-law did?
Yeah. She wanted the baby to be named her name. And because the baby was not named Anne, and they made Anne the middle name, the mother wants nothing to do with the whole family.
Who does she think she is? George Foreman? Good God. That's insane. That's such like crazy mother-in-law stuff. Like, wow, what a weirdo.
So I was like looking for the name. I was like, maybe this name's gonna be like, scab face or like, I don't know, anything. Like,
yeah, Anne's a jerk.
Yeah, like, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I thought like we had that other name before, that Ebsidier. Ebsidy.
Oh yeah, Absidy. Yeah.
But this one's just like, she wants the child to be named her name. She's the mother-in-law. Okay, it's not even like her mom is like, carry on the names. It's like your husband's mom is like, why isn't she named my name? It's like, because you had your chance to have kids. Okay, now it's my turn. So I'm gonna not name it your name just so that, like, what? Like, how cute is that gonna be? Christmas, like, oh, there's a present for Anne and a present for Anne. Which one could it be? Like,
yeah.
Why do you want them to have the same name? I don't understand why. It's like, I know that I've done selfish things. Like, for example, I want to get married on my birthday because I want everything to be about me. Everyone says that's insanely selfish. I don't think so, but I get it. Right?
Good. Yeah, it's smart. I think that's totally up my alley. I would do that.
Yeah, it's on me if I want to have a winter wedding. Like, who wants that? Nobody. But like, I'd be down because I'm a narcissist, and I know that. But like, that is a whole new level of narcissism. Like, she won't even look at photographs of the child.
So what does it say? What they named the baby? Like, what was the offensive name?
It doesn't say what the name is.
It was just offensive because it wasn't the same name as hers?
Yeah!
What a lunatic! Good God, lady. Jesus God. That's so insane. Crazy? That is the craziest thing I've heard. That's like a nightmare mother-in-law.
I read through the whole thing to find out what the baby's name is, and they wouldn't even say the baby's name because it's a regular name. She's just mad that it's not the name that she chose, which is her name.
Woof, that's brutal. That's
Like,
so that's the funniest thing ever though.
because like look at like literally this is what she says here. And I just don't know. I don't really get it because so this is okay. The mom here. Her mom-in-law said that Anne had been the name of someone in her past who she felt deeply hurt and betrayed by. Oh, right. Okay. So the name of the baby is Anne.
Okay.
She doesn't like the name Anne because she had been deeply hurt and betrayed by somebody named Anne in the past. So it's offending her that they named their kid Anne. Warning the parents she would be upset if they went through with the plan to include their daughter's name. The new mom said at the time, I was pregnant and pissed off and sassy. I pretty much told her she'd have to get over it and be excited for the new context to be added to the name. And that was until my daughter was born. We haven't seen her since.
well, they made the fatal mistake of not naming their daughter trigger warning : Anne, you know, like that might have helped a little bit or something. I don't know.
Now she will not talk to us. She's blocked my number. And when I try to text her baby pictures, they are never delivered. It's like, this isn't Anne. This isn't your old friend Anne that screwed you over reincarnated. It's a baby. And Anne is a very popular name. Like Anne of Green Gables.
Yeah.
White Annes. Black Annes.
There's many. There's White and Black Annie, right? Both movies. White and a black one. Yeah. It's yep. Lots of Annes. Tons of them. That's insane.
The possibilities are endless for Annes. Like,
yeah, this lady's universe must get shattered on a regular basis. All these Anns out here. Like, it's not like she got screwed over by a white guy named Morgan Freeman. Those are rare. Like, you don't have to be reminded of those often. But wow, good God.
Good way to start off. Whose headline is it anyway? What do you have?
That was a banger. All right, so I got one here. This one is just like, I can't decide if this is funny or amazing or what, but this just like caught my eye immediately. Man buys 160 tickets for one lottery drawing, wins 160 times.
No.
Yeah. This dude's like either a wizard or the most effective con artist that the planet has ever seen. So it says a Virginia man said he had a feeling, and they put it in quotes too to make them all suspect, about some numbers he copied down from a TV show that led to his buying 160 tickets for a single lottery drawing and winning $800,000. Yeah, that's a big win. Because it says, Kwame Cross of Dumfries, which is in Virginia, I guess, told Virginia lottery officials he bought 160 tickets for the Pick Fours December 5th night drawing from the Rosalind Sunoco in Arlington, whatever the hell that is. And all of the tickets bore the same number combination, 7314. Okay, so like he picked the same number 160 times and then just got he nailed the thing. And it was a $5,000 top prize that he won 160 consecutive times. And so this dude won $800,000. What a G. That's so crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Man, I have a lottery ticket that I haven't checked yet because I'm pretty sure that I'm actually going to win. And that's giving me hope. That's nuts, though. That's also like he's rigged the system. There's no way.
Yeah, I know. There's got to be some like inside thing, right? It's just like, what do you do? Like, you know, just pick random numbers. It's 1738, and then bam, hits it. Like, what the hell? That's crazy. That is such madness. But yeah, the guy won 160 times on a single lotto ticket. And then he's his quote, I thought this can't be real. He said, I had to pull over and check like 82 times. It feels surreal. I'm like, shouldn't you have checked 160 times, sir, if you wanted to validate this win? He says he hasn't decided yet what to do with his winnings. Probably bail himself out of jail when they find out how he somehow cheated this thing. There's no way. Isn't that the most insane thing you've ever heard?
It's fraud. Like, he's like, there's no way.
It's got to be, right? And the picture is hilarious. He's got like his COVID mask and he's holding up the check and like this, he looks all mischievous too. Like he just pulled some like, you know, the Grinch night before Christmas stuff, like whatever it was. Yeah, this guy, he's got an ace up his sleeve. I don't know what he did, but he's an absolute legend.
Yeah, he's going to be definitely arrested next week. We should follow up on that story for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Okay, are you ready for this next article?
Yep, hit me.
Woman explains why she always takes a bite out of husband's lunch after packing it.
She had to explain this to the news? How prolific was this activity?
Good old England.
Oh God, Jesus.
So every relationship is different, and each couple has their own unique way of showing their partner that they love them. You might be filling the car up with petrol when you notice they're running low, or bringing home a gift to a show when you were thinking of them. But for Tracy, it involves sandwiches.
Yeah, cucumber sandwiches with no crust, no doubt.
Tracy explained why she frequently takes bites out of her husband's packed lunch. Her post read, Clifford and I have been married almost 41 years, and I have made his lunch every working day since day one. On occasion, I would join him on the job site and have lunch with him. He made a comment that lunch tasted better when I share it with someone I love, so now I take a bite out of every meal, so it's like I'm there. What a psycho!
Oh, that's adorable in the most like crazy way possible. Oh,
It's like,
she's there with him. Isn't that cute?
If someone took a bite out of like my chicken, I'd be like, no, like I don't need this. Also, it's like, how do you pull that out at your lunch break with everybody, and everyone's like, oh, and you're sitting down on your bench with your boys, and like you're like, here's my half-eaten sandwich.
Yeah. I just be like, honey, can't you just put on some chapstick and kiss the napkin like a normal person so I can put that on my cheeks for an emergency? Like, good God, what are you doing?
Like, I'm just like, and everyone's like, oh, so heartwarming. I'm like, that's creepy and like not cute. Like, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm the crazy one.
40 years of marriage is just looking for ways to spice it up.
Yeah,
that's how white people do it. That's how we get spicy to marriage. We do weird shit to each other.
That's how white people are doing this. Black people just put spices in the food, and that's the show of love.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we season our food, with bites and kisses. Like butterfly kisses, you know? We put our eyelashes on the bread.
Butterfly kisses need to make a comeback. They're fire.
They're great. Yeah, they're wonderful. The world needs more of that. Okay, I got a good one here. The headline it pretty much just sums it all up here. It just says, China recommends flight attendants wear diapers. Right? Yeah. The world-renowned beacon of human and civil rights, China, as their aviation authority recommended and released new COVID-19 safety guidelines that included the suggestion that flight attendants wear diapers to avoid using plane lavatories. The Civil Aviation Administration of China's document, titled Technical Guidelines for Epidemic Prevention and Control for Airlines, offers suggestions for hygiene practices to prevent flight members from contracting the coronavirus. And then it proceeds to say, the document, which includes recommendations for use of medical masks and other protective equipment, drew attention online for one unusual suggestion, and I quote, it is recommended that cabin crew members wear disposable diapers and avoid the lavatories, barring special circumstances to avoid infection risks.
I'm sorry.
There you have it. This is the news. Truth dies in darkness.
I tried to dissect this very seriously, and I had to take a minute. I'm not having anyone serve me. Do they still serve food on this plane?
I would think so. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't really know.
I'm not like having anyone walk by me like with their diaper full of poo, being like, here you go. Here's your meal. Like, do they not know how diapers work? Like when babies poo in their diapers, people are just like, you need to be changed. What, 22-hour flight? People are just like pissing and what?
Yeah. Literally, if it's like a 12+ hour flight, I feel like there's other infection risks from just going in a diaper this entire time. Good God.
Imagine being a 50-year-old or like a 25-year-old flight attendant with diaper rash because you had to like wear a diaper. I love they call them disposable diapers, like as opposed to what? Like,
yeah, the kind that you save for later, Tamara. Anyways, folks, that's our show. We are all out of time. The show can also be heard on the Barnburner Radio Network on its 122 platforms. Please check out barnburner.ca for all the news and programming. That is Barnburner. Watch it.
Watch it. Hear it.
Read it.
Download it.
Live it.
All right. You can find us on Instagram at H.E.R for me and at Warren J Comedy for Warren. Follow us, like us, tweet us. You know what I mean. We'll get back to you guys soon. Let us know if you find any articles. We're down to hear whatever.
Yes, hit us up, give us the news. Bye-bye.
Bye.